As I look back on Lottie's third year in operation, I feel really proud of what the boroughs have collectively achieved together. We've worked on such a broad range of issues, from digital skills, where we've been running training programmes with the likes of the Office for National Statistics. We've brought in expert recruiters to help boroughs hire better. We've had careers days and even launched Lottie's own jobs board. We've been helping boroughs think through the future of the workplace after 2 years of a COVID lockdown, helping adjust to what hybrid working looks like and making it really effective for all of their staff. We've been innovating on cybersecurity as well, launching our first pilot to help boroughs stay ahead of hackers. And in the data world, we've been delighted to collaborate with the GLA and the Met Police to appoint the capital's first ever Pan-London Information Governance Lead. And most importantly, we've been bringing the whole community together to focus on issues that really matter to Londoners, like tackling digital exclusion and focusing on what we do about climate change.
Thinking about what we've achieved in year 3, how Lottie has really placed itself at the forefront, not just of sort of a COVID response over the last 2 years, but taking lessons from that period. And then there's that consistent theme that Lottie's had from its very foundation, which is how do we grow our own talent and attract talent to local government. And we want to diversify that talent in local government's tech community, so working on attracting more global majority and women into the public sector.
So over the past year, one of the focuses are Lottie's Women's Network. So to start that, we funded over 80 women from 21 boroughs in the Lottie membership to go on the Upfront Confidence course. We were able to gain tips and tricks on how to become more confident ourselves, both personally and in the workplace, but also get to know each other. A chance that we don't very much get to do because we all work in our specific organisations and boroughs.
Over the past year, Lottie has been really important in the delivery of one of the Mayor's top priorities, which is improving digital access for Londoners.
The Digital Inclusion Innovation Programme is a 2-year programme funded by the Greater London Authority, led by Lottie and the boroughs, to help tackle digital exclusion, particularly in London. And what we kind of focused on so far is on projects that help move us closer towards closing the digital divide.
So there's been some fantastic projects across London to tackle digital exclusion. Lottie have been working with the Helix Centre, who are part of Imperial College London. So together we've been looking to identify digital approaches that can tackle social isolation for people living with dementia. We're aware that obviously using things like tablet devices and getting on Zoom calls can be difficult, so we wanted to really simplify the process of getting onto these activities.
I've been working on a project to understand digital inclusion in London. The project involved taking a wide range of data sources and mapping those data sources together. The project brings together where people might be digitally excluded in London. As part of the project, we developed a map, a set of personas, a toolkit and a set of segments. The segments can be used to help understand the specific motivations of people who are digitally excluded to meet those people's needs.
So I think one of the things that Lottie have been really trying to do over the last year especially is how we move away from just digital change, but looking at data and really focusing on innovation. And I think one of the things that Lottie does really well is that collaboration piece. They know the right people to bring into the room and how to have those conversations.
So this past year we worked with Lottie on a program called Data, Digital and Innovation. And it was really to create benchmarks and to identify what boroughs are doing in these areas, types of staffing, job specs, so that each can look to leverage one another's capabilities or build their own in-house and have a template for how to do that. We were privileged to host the launch of the London Office of Technology and Innovation almost 3 years ago. We are very happy to continue working with them, and we use them as a successful model when we speak to other cities around the world.
At Hackney and Newham, we've worked with Lottie on an award-winning Linkwork project. We've supported about 450 residents, where what we do is use our data to try to identify vulnerability and then make proactive contact with those residents, understand the challenges they might be going through and intervene early, rather than what councils tend to do, which is wait for people to reach crisis and wait for them to call us. And we definitely couldn't have done that without Lottie's support.
So one of the things that I think is most innovative and that I hope Lottie could do more of is implement methods such as the digital participation that we're using as part of the Design Week. So with the Talk London platform, we're going out to London residents as part of the design week and actually getting their feedback during our own sprints, during our own idea generation, to really understand what it is that London residents and citizens think about the ideas, and that will inform the actual innovative solutions that we're coming up with.
So RedBridge joined Lottie because we'd been looking at Lottie for quite some time. The reasons really is the digital plethora of activities that you cover, the resources you provide, the information. You've got a depth of knowledge and understanding of situations that as a council we just don't have that resource and we don't have that information, and we certainly don't have the data that you have. And so that for us is fantastic because we could just link into it, pull information out and support a lot of the objectives that we have or the realisation of what we're trying to do.
So Hackney were one of the founding boroughs that helped form Lottie, so we came together 3 years ago. I think what Lottie's really helped us do is come together with purpose. For me, it feels like the most tangible collaboration that I've seen in my time in local government, and what's exciting is there's as much to look forward to as there is to feel proud about what we've done together by working together in the way that Lottie's helping us do, and seeing how Lottie has grown from 15 boroughs, now 23, hopefully more. I think we're seeing a real shift from the idea of sharing to the practice of sharing.
Just thank you to everything that Lottie has done, members of the team currently, but also the strong foundations laid over the last 3 years. I'm really confident that as we move into our 4th year that Lottie will go from strength to strength, so huge thank you to the team.
I would of course like to thank every single member of Lottie team, but also those officers across London who give up their hard-pressed time to make this the success that it is.
Looking ahead, I'm excited that Lottie's going to be working on 3 core challenges over the course of the next year. Number 1, we want to work on the capacity gap in London local government. We're going to be working hard collectively to ensure that every borough can access the digital data and technology talent they need to put their ideas into action. The second area is looking at radical new service models that can be enabled by tech and data, and which are badly needed in areas of public service delivery that are under huge pressure, like adult social care. And lastly, and more broadly, we want to make sure that digital and data innovation isn't just something for the technologists, where our community has a seat at the table when discussing all of London's major service and policy challenges. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has worked with Lottie over the course of the last year, and I'm really excited to see what we can do together in the course of year 4.